Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie. In tonight's video, I will be doing my episode review for the Zoo Season 2 premiere, which premiered earlier tonight, on CBS. Oh, and it was worth the year-long wait. Oh man, it was so good. Now, before I start blabbering on and on, of course, please be warned that I will be discussing massive spoilers regarding tonight's episode and possibly making references to Season 1. So if you're behind on a few episodes, or if you just didn't catch tonight's episode, please be warned I will be revealing huge spoilers. So this is your last and final warning. And once you are caught up, come on back and give this video a listen and a watch. I think you'll like what you hear. So you have been warned. That being said, so good. So good. You know what? I was very, very pleased as to how action-packed it was, because we saw tons of animal attacks, we saw humans escaping near-death experiences, we saw some great character conflict, and we saw a lot of exciting, suspenseful sequences where we weren't sure if our characters were going to get out of it or not, and we saw some very cool, very scary animals as well. So, of course, it immediately picks up with that enormous cliffhanger from Season 1, where the last shot of the season we see is all of these animals, both predator and prey alike, all of them just filled the street of Washington, D.C., and they start charging our main characters. And it opens on that scene, and of course, they did what Abraham did, what I thought he would do. He would put the thing in reverse and just go full throttle backwards. But as they were doing that, of course, they're hit by a rhinoceros, and that causes a gas leak in their little Humvee there. But it gives Jackson the idea, hey, I'll distract him and just light this behind me because there's a little fire burning nearby. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? What does he mean he'll lead them away? And sure enough, the trail of gas leaking from the Humvee creates a line of gas on the sidewalk. And when Abraham takes that torch, it goes, creates a little firewall to allow the others to escape while the animal horde is held off. So that was very, very cool. Very good episode. Very entertaining. Solid start to a new season. Jamie is still up in Canada, and unfortunately her savior has now been mauled by the neighboring animals. It seems like some bears and some wolves have finally breached the fence line of the property, but she managed to protect the leopard, which hopefully holds the cure. And we are introduced to a new conflict, a potential new threat tonight as well. Jackson was bitten by a dog last season, and now we're afraid that his blood is apparently starting to mutate like animal blood as well. That's not good. And then we also discover there's this scientist in Argentina who has somehow turned into this mutated freak of nature, and he's become more animalistic, and he's killing and attacking people. And now apparently he's like the first, he's symptomatic of what they refer to as phase 2 of the virus. And now the theory is that humans can now be mutated and affected by this virus that's causing animals to go batshit crazy all over the world. And now numerous cities and capitals all over the world have fallen. Mandatory evacuations on the United States East Coast. The government is barely hanging on. Mitch's family is safe and secure in some safe zone somewhere, because we saw him talking to his daughter. And we also saw a bit of a rift between Abraham and Mitch, because Abraham dragged a reluctant Mitch away from the Canadian house when they went to go retrieve Jamie and the leopard. They got the leopard, however, they could not stick around long enough to find Jamie, because the poor woman was being chased into the woods, not only by wolves, but then by a bison as well, a lone buffalo. And I love that part when she's outside of the fence and she thinks she's outsmarted the wolves, and there's this big snort. She turns around and there's a big freaking buffalo right there. I'm like, oh shit. And it just starts going after her. It was kind of ironic and funny to see wolves running alongside a buffalo going after their common prey item, the human, Jamie. But she managed to outsmart the predators, and now she's alone in the Canadian wilderness trying to make it to a city for shelter. And unfortunately, her friends still do not know that she is alive and all right, especially poor Mitch, who's got a thing for her. And now he's mad at Abraham for dragging him away and, in his mind, leaving Jamie behind to die. But now they've recruited a new friend, a new ally, or a problematic ally, since at the end of the episode, she unfortunately capped the infected scientist who had turned into a genetic mutant creature for the most part. And they did discover that because of a specific genetic anomaly in him, it's what allowed him to become affected by the mutated virus in the first place. So this doesn't necessarily mean that humans can be mutated as well, which is a huge sigh of relief, because Jackson and Chloe were both afraid that Jackson was going to become just like the scientist Kovacs, that he was going to become a mutant as well. But fortunately, that did not happen. So, grateful for that. But that doesn't mean they're completely out of the woods, because now their only hope for a cure now lies dead with a gunshot to the head, and the leopard turned out to be nothing, because even though they got it back to the government compound, they took some of its blood and they tried to put it to a nasty, barking German shepherd. Nothing worked. So whatever made the leopard the living, breathing, walking cure in season 1 no longer exists. The leopard is presumably still alive, but now the cure that the leopard held within is gone. It's no good. So now we're back to square one, which makes a lot of sense, because if you want the show to go on, you can't necessarily have a cure at the beginning of the season. Otherwise, the rest of the show would cease to exist. So, of course, you'd have to have your only lifeline, your only sign of hope be completely diminished. But we should not give up hope, because who knows what miracle they may find in their research during this animal apocalypse. Overall, great episode. Exciting sequences. I wish they would have explained how an elephant could have possibly ended up in Argentina. I'm assuming it escaped from a zoo that must have been a circus that must have been visiting Argentina at the time when the animal apocalypse started or whatever. They didn't really explain that, but damn, there was some exciting sequences, like the elephant stepping on poor Tomas, and our characters outrunning the elephant in the Jeep. It was very Jurassic Park-ish, like the T-Rex is chasing our characters in the Jeep. Like in this show, they're being chased by the elephant, the rogue elephant at that. And then we saw Jamie outrunning bears, wolves, a bison, and then, I love the part where she thinks she sees the cop moving around in the cop car, and of course he opens it up. I'm like, okay, I said to myself, there's going to be an animal in there, and sure enough, it was a family of raccoons nibbling on the dead cop. But fortunately, they got scared off by Jamie and did not attack her, so she was able to take refuge there for the night. Great episode. Awesome start to a new season. I am so excited. I am so happy that they decided to go on this very exciting, action-packed route so far. Let's hope they maintain that level of excitement and thrills to it with animal attacks and whatnot. Gotta have good storytelling as well, but I love the way they started this season, and I am so excited for the rest of it. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for watching this episode review here on the EdWord. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel as we follow along with Season 2 of Zoo, premiering every Tuesday night on CBS. Check your local listings. Don't forget to check out my Facebook page in the description down below. I think you'll like what you see. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.